first time when Delay died,
Streaming live,
doing
Mount Sterling, Ohio.
songs one time.
All right, very good.
Fish,
As soon as you get seated,
that's all right. He was a scamp too, wasn't he?
doing this in my report.
Oh, yes.
Okay. I'll call the Village of Mount Sterling Council meeting to order on August 12th, 2019. Roll call, please.
David,
Here.
Mike,
Absent.
Marcy,
Here.
Becky,
Here.
Lowell,
Yes, I'm here.
Craig.
Here. Very good. I need a motion to excuse Mike tonight.
Give you that motion.
Thank you. A second.
I'll second.
David,
Yes.
Marcy,
Yes.
Becky,
Yes.
Lowell,
Yes.
Craig.
Yes.
Thank you. Would Mr. Blankenship lead us in prayer?
I got to announce something for Reverend Blankenship. This is his 40th year of working with the Lord and being a pastor, and I want to thank him for his 40
Very
years.
good, very good.
Let's bow our heads, please. Gracious Father in heaven, we give you thanks today for another day of life. Thank you, Lord, that we can gather like this and conduct business, the freedom to do so. I pray that you would bless this council, give them wisdom, knowledge, and direction to make decisions that would benefit all the citizens of Mount Sterling, help us to grow and be stronger. And Father, before we close this prayer, I ask that you would be with Diane Spradlin tonight. Give her comfort, give her rest and peace in her life. Bless her family. And we will thank you now in Christ's name. Amen.
Amen.
Thank you very much. Pledge of allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Please be seated. Thank you all very much.
Comes yours, I think, isn't it?
Okay.
I better get my, all the way on me.
Approved of minutes from the village council meeting on July 22nd
Yes,
and a special
Give you a
council
motion.
meeting on July 26th.
for both of them.
I'll second.
Vote.
Okay, sorry, just a second here.
You're fine.
Lowell and Becky.
Mm-hmm.
David,
Yes.
Marcy,
Yes.
Becky,
Yes.
Lowell,
Yes,
Craig.
Yes.
Okay, just a second. Sorry, I'm a little too fast.
You're fine.
Okay, and I would take this, if I can circulate that to capture everybody's signatures.
While they're passing it around, we'll do the mayor's report. First thing on my agenda is, I have a letter here from Councilman Mike Bennett dated August 1st. I regret to inform you that I'm resigning from my position as village council immediately for personal reasons. He's actually moving out of town. He bought a home out of town near Circleville, and he thanks us so much for our understanding in this matter and the time that he spent with us. So I'll need a motion to accept Mike Bennett's resignation
Yeah,
from
that
village
motion.
council.
I'll second.
Thank you, thank you. And a vote.
David,
Yes.
Marcy,
Yes.
Becky,
Yes.
Lowell,
yes,
Craig.
Yes.
Motion's passed.
Thank you. Next thing on my agenda, if you've all realized that, know that the contractor has come in and did the first phase of the potholes in town.
good job.
They did a wonderful job, and the reason we did it that way was actually to save money. They were going to bring so much equipment in, like backhoe and saws and grinders and stuff. We did it in phase one, the most serious ones, the ones with most traffic. Now we're in phase two. They'll come to town with blacktop. They won't need as much equipment. So we're actually going to get a price break on phase two. And they have submitted that bid to us. And
Not tonight.
not tonight. We're not going to do it. We're going to do it in a special meeting. We haven't got it. We've got it too late. We're going to submit that. We'll let you all know at a special meeting that we're going to call to take care of phase two. And that should do pretty much all the potholes in town. If you've noticed, they've already documented and spray painted anything that they missed when they get finished, anything we missed. I've talked it over with our new village administrator, and we'll finish up anything left over once they leave with phase two. If there's anything left over, we're going to take care of it. But we feel like that we need to do that for the community. We need to fill all the potholes, get everything fixed, because to be truthful, they've been neglected for years. And some of them are in terrible condition. Alleys, you encourage people to park behind their houses or in a parking lot off the street, and the alleys are in terrible condition, and we're going to have a lot of them fixed. We didn't get to Rosewood on the first bid. We didn't get to Cliffview on the first bid, but they'll be taken care of in the second bid. And hopefully it'll clear most of it up, and we'll have just a minimum amount for us to do when they move out of town. That's the only thing on my report
me.
as of right now.
Do you know when that's supposed to begin?
As soon as we have a special meeting and approve the bid.
I mean, they have an opening for us, or is it going to be like, as soon as we approve it, then is it going to be a waiting period again? Do you know?
I'm really not sure. I know if there is a waiting period, it won't be very long,
Okay.
because they're anticipating coming back and doing phase two. The reason we did it, they had a lot of equipment in town, and when they have all that equipment in town, it costs money to have that equipment sitting around. So they used all their equipment. They won't bring near as much back, and we'll get the rest of them finished, hopefully. If we don't, our crew will take care of it. Our village administrator has assured us that they'll all be fixed before bad weather sets in. So with that leads us up to the president report. David Timmons.
I like to report about remembering the families in a tragedy just right down the road from us in Dayton, Ohio. People having a fine time and stuff, and these shootings now, and they're not getting to the point, it seems like, every time it's going on, and you just got to be so careful where you're at. And also, I like to thank the Parks and Rec. I've talked to some people, and the children are really enjoying these movies, and so I appreciate what you're doing there. And also, kids will be going back to schools, and so watch out for the buses, and be careful. The kids are going to be excited about seeing some of their old friends. Just watch out for them. That's all I have tonight.
Very good. Public comments. Okay. No public comments. We do not have an executive session scheduled, so that leaves us with the sheriff's report, and he's not here. Sheriff's not going to show up tonight.
No report.
No report. That leads us to the law director.
I have no report.
No report.
No report.
Then
Mr.
that-
Mayor, I got one question.
Okay.
Will the main sheriff be coming down from Madison County?
I have talked to John 2 or 3 different times, and I've explained I want him to meet council, and he was actually coming down last week, but you know that he's been ill, and he had a setback.
Okay.
And he contacted me the first part, I believe, of last week, and told me that it would be several days or a week before. I'll get a hold of him probably tomorrow to see when he can come down and meet with council, probably at a special meeting.
Okay.
Yes, he knows he's coming down. He knows you have questions for him, and but his health is not being very well. But yes, he'll be down.
Okay, thanks, Mayor.
That leads us to the utilities clerk, Mrs. Vance.
Okay,
Miss Vance.
I have a short and sweet report here. I thought I'd start reporting the adjustments that are made and made on the water sewer accounts. A lot of them are for if somebody gets their food billed or power wash in a home, as long as we can get some numbers before and after to have accurate figures, we can deduct the sewer off of their account. And that's a more expensive part of the bill besides the debt, of course. So month to date, we have $343 in adjustments. Month to date, 372 payments in, totaling 44,000, and I have about, today, still about 50 to put in. And then, so right now we have the delinquents, is another story, we're working on them, I'm working as hard as I can on them. Sue was helping me for a while, but she's out on medical leave. So they're about 9,400, and it's about 38 accounts right now that are delinquent. Many of those we have going to pay off their accounts on the 16th. It's big payday, I guess. So on to another note, our system that we have will not be supported by Microsoft, our billing system. The read part of it will not be supported in 2020. Microsoft, it's no longer, they help write the system, but they're not going to support it any longer. So we're reviewing some new outlets and we have a couple quotes from different companies for the software package to upgrade it as well, to be upgraded. More to come about that.
Yes. Just to elaborate on what she's talking about, a representative from Buckeye Pipe. She has a program in her computer, and we have a handheld, and we have radio read water meters. Technology is changing, just like telephones have changed in the past several years. And they're not going to keep the old system. We have to switch over. So that means the radio reads are actually going to change. The program in her computer is going to change. We'll probably have to have, I believe we have to have eventually we'll have to have a new handheld. So that whole system is changing. And of course, we've talked it over with Brian. He's aware of this, and we'll be, as we learn more, and we'll let council know, especially the committee in question, Water and Sewage
Will
Committee.
this change the inside the meters, Dan, basically, what they had been doing for the readings, Dan?
Well, I'm not sure. Can you answer that?
Depends on which software package we go with.
Okay.
Some of our radio reads are supported now, but when we go forward from here, we want to get the newer ones upgraded. It'll still be compatible, but there's other software packages to where if we say, for example, if we would get an antenna, we can pull them all in at one time that way. We can go a different service, just like the cell phones, and we can have them pulled in, you know, just like from a cell phone or from a tablet. I mean, so there's all kinds of options, and we're going from the bare minimum, what we need now, to quotes from what will benefit us in the future. So, because what we have now will eventually be obsolete. So we want to make sure that when we do this upgrade, it will last.
I know technology, it can, and one thing is it so quickly can end for another. It's true. It sounds like it's going to be a good advancement.
Yeah.
Now, some of the communities close by, correct me, they applied for a grant, and the grant exchanged every water meter in town,
Yes, it did.
and they don't have to go out and read them anymore. The signal comes in automatically.
But
Am I right?
unfortunately, this grant they received, they did get everything new, and it's nice. But in just a few years, that it's not going to be compatible anymore with the, how you have, say, 3G, 4G, 5. Eventually, what they have is not going to be compatible, and it's only going to be probably a couple of years. And that's too bad, because they'll have to hopefully find a grant, because it's going to be no good, it's going to be dead.
So while we're trying to upgrade, this whole thing's moving along. For instance, 5G now. So we're trying to, between Brian and her, Misty, and myself, we're trying to find what is going to work best for us. You know, that will have a longevity to, yes. We have some time to it. So we don't have to do this in another 5 years. But we'll be filling you all in, especially the Water and Sewer Committee. That leads us to Village Administrator. You are new Village Administrator. Has everybody been introduced? Mr. Brian Arledge.
Thank you, Council.
You're welcome, you're welcome.
Giving me a chance to help the community. I do appreciate it. It's been 1 week and 1 day. It's been pretty busy, but I'm enjoying it. So hopefully we can progress and get some things done. But in fact, right before I started, the mayor and I went to a mayor's meeting there at the London engineer's office, or Madison County's engineer's office, and we looked at certain things for the Ohio Public Works Commission, different grants, things like that, that we're going to try to work on. The whole group of Madison County towns and villages get together and we try to sort things out. So that was interesting for me, one, to meet the people and to kind of understand the grants, things like that. So we'll be working hand in hand with that. Let's see here. Day-to-day operations at both plants, the water and wastewater plants, are pretty normal. We don't really have any large issues at all. Just minor things that we're working on for the first week at least. We'll see how it goes. I can't think of anything on the horizon, any large items for repair or anything like that. So that's a good deal. I went out and looked at some drainage issues on Shadle Lane. We did some work back several years ago. We put a new catch basins in, things like that. But it looks like we need to have some dirt work done in that area. Because what happens, there's water that pools right there and stays there for a long time. So I'm going to talk to a couple excavators to see if they can give us a bid on fixing that. So that's in progress. Oh, and as Mayor Martin said, we will be starting to do some potholes here in the next few weeks, or after the second phase of the blacktop crew gets done. I know there's probably several of them that we haven't marked yet, and we'll find them. And hopefully we'll keep doing that until we get them done. So, Thank you, that's it for right now.
Okay, at Shadle Lane, I'm going to elaborate a little bit if you don't care.
No, go right ahead.
They went in, as you all remember, and fixed Shadle Lane. I got a phone call months ago. The property owner, correct me if I'm wrong, he was complaining that someone tore his sidewalk up.
Yes.
And I went out and looked at it, and yes, the sidewalk is damaged. Now, a lot of sidewalks in town are damaged, so I didn't put it high on the priority list, but now I understand he's called me again, and I understand he's got a hold of you.
Yeah, I went out and looked at the sidewalk issue, and it appears to me that it probably was damaged during some of the storm sewer construction. And it's consistent with what he told me a few months ago, so I have to believe that, it did probably happen that way.
Yeah, so we're going to have to,
Knowing the situation, Bill, I don't think it was caused by anything that the village did in repairing that Shadle Lane.
well, we didn't repair it, did we? Did
No.
the township
When we did
trustees?
Shadle Lane, we had no problem with the sidewalk. That sidewalk was not bothered. So if anything's happened to that sidewalk, it can't be our fault.
Well, we know it's not our fault, but we know it's in the village corporation
That
now.
may be, but
So,
sidewalks belong to the property owner.
right,
Knowing this property owner, he has been that kind of a person for many years. And I've had to deal with him too.
okay. Okay, I just wanted
I don't
to,
think that it's our problem. The sidewalk may be damaged, but I don't think it's of any fault of the village.
okay,
And I think if it's anything, it's probably trucks or whatever in that area driving across it or whatever.
okay.
Because if he ever gets a chance, he always blames and says he's not in the village. And therefore, we get into another issue there with income tax.
Okay,
So
so we'll.
I'll look at that again. I'll look at
Okay,
it.
all right, thank you. And I will, Brian and I will take it up with Mark and,
Yes.
okay, very good. So, is that your report, Brian?
That is my report.
Thank you very much. That leads us to fiscal/clerk of council,
And I have a
Courtney
report.
Bricker.
I do. Thank you.
Oh,
Okay, so I just wanted to thank, I know this probably could be a roundtable, but I figure I'd just send a thank you out to ABC Restrooms for their donation for the Porta-John during the event on August the 17th for the Special Olympics. So I assume Parks and Rec or somebody's going to talk about that event. But they did offer a donation to bring those Porta-Johns out for that event. So I want to thank them for that. Also, just a reminder, I wanted to remind the Sheriff's Department as well, as the Cancer Relay Run is going to be happening on August the 23rd at 11:15 p.m. until 1:45 a.m. And they're going to be utilizing the public restrooms and the facilities here and making their way down 62. So, again, I have notified the Sheriff's Department, but I want to send a reminder. So they said that the mayor had been there as well during that event last year. Also, for all of council in doing the budget for the upcoming year. So I'll be getting with Brian and we'll be looking through the budget to see what we need to have, because again, it's at that time of year, we'll have to place that on 3 readings before the end of a year and have that budget taken care of, and plus, obviously have that approved by the state auditors as well. So I'll be working with Brian on getting that budget for you guys to be presented with. Finance preferably probably first, the finance committee, and then all to council to have that approved before the end of the year. So that's all on as far as my updates. If you guys would like to kindly pull out your financial reports. We'll work at the cash summary first. As a reminder, we also will be having our commission committee meeting tomorrow. It is again open to the public, and it starts at 10 o'clock here at Town Hall. If you would like to view that, you can come personally and view that at 10 o'clock here in Chambers, or you could also view that on YouTube. I usually like to have those recorded as well.
it is open to the public, but it's not open to comments.
Yes.
No questions or comments during this meeting?
Right.
Okay.
Okay, so if you'd like to get your cash summary by fund out, again, this is all starting from July the 1st until Friday the 8th. Or I'm sorry, these reports that you see are all for July because you will have your July reconciliation to approve today. So if you look at your cash summary by fund, everything looks very healthy, everything looks very in good shape. There is no negatives on here, everything's in a positive. And I apologize, I think we go through the same reports all the time, but please slow me down if you guys have questions on anything. Comparison of budget and appropriated. We are right within our means. We are actually under budget, which is good, of what was appropriated for the month of July. Payment listings. Again, you will see those 3 employees. That's when our ADP system lost those checks and they had to be issued on village checks. I know I talked about that during the last meeting. And there's nothing that's out of the ordinary on this. If you guys have any questions, you will also see the repairs of the plumbing that we had done in the public restrooms as a payment. Receipt listing from all of July of 2019. As you can tell, there are several Village of Mount Sterling sources on here for the water and sewer payments, as always. There's nothing out of the ordinary on that. Any questions thus far? Okay. Revenue status as of July 31st. I'm showing the budget for the general fund is at 79%, which is very good. We should be looking at this number coming into November. So the revenues are definitely good in the general fund. The next one that we always look at is the water fund, and that's at 52%. And the sewer fund is at 43%. Any questions on those? Okay, appropriation status. If you guys want to turn to the general fund, that's on page 3, that's at 57%. So basically, our appropriation status is below what we have budgeted for this time of year. We're looking good on that. And again, this will be also viewed by the auditors come tomorrow. They will also get these same reports. And we'll be discussing the general fund on that.
Well, Courtney, the good news about all this, with our meeting tomorrow, looks like we're going on an even keel. That sounds
Right.
good.
Yep.
Yes.
Yep, it should be a good report tomorrow.
Yeah.
And then also, if we want to turn to page 9 and page 8 and 9, we're at 46%, so that's good in the water fund. We're below budget on that, which is good. And the sewer fund, on page 9, we are at 48%. So our expenses are definitely below than what we budgeted for. Okay, any questions on the financial reports? Okay, also, the July bank reconciliation I will be passing around. If you guys could please place your signatures on here. Everything has been budgeted to the penny, nothing more, nothing less. This also has been sent to the auditors, which was balanced on the 6th of August. Just a few things that they'll probably talk about in the commission committee tomorrow is that we'll have to be doing, again, that transfer from the general fund down to the street funds to offset those fund balance adjustments that I will be processing here very shortly. Also, I would like to hope and see if we can get these 2 outstanding adjustments that have been placed on this reconciliation for almost over 2 years now. Because now that we're done with our auditings, we should be able to remove those. So we should be looking at a clear slate as far as reconciliations when I do it next month, hopefully. Also, all of our comments, policies, our findings for comments have been submitted to the auditor's office. So we are done here as far as council with having to, get together and creating those policies. They just need to be returned back to us with their edits. So we should have a good report tomorrow that those have been cleared. So hopefully I will have on our next meeting a great update to present to you guys and see what they're going to do moving forward. Okay? So if I can pass this around and you guys can look at that. Mayor Martin, if I would ask you for a motion to accept my financials.
Give you the
Yes.
motion.
I'll second. Thank you very much. Thank you. Vote.
Lowell and
Now, these are all the reports. I'm giving you a motion for
Yes.
all the reports.
Yes, it's all the reports and the bank reconciliation for July.
That's what I meant.
Yes. Okay, so Mayor Martin, would you like to have a voice vote?
Yes.
Okay, David,
Yes.
Marcy,
Yes.
Becky,
Yes.
Lowell,
Yes,
Craig?
Yes.
And then I will also pass around the capturing of your signatures as well for the acceptance of those reports. You guys also received your RETA fund, your RETA things, RETA report.
and it's very good. You look
Yes,
at
it is.
that. To
Yes,
date,
yes,
some 40,000 more than last year to date.
right. And if you would like to sign up, please.
Okay, that leads us to, Misty, did you need to go back in your office?
Yes, I do.
Okay, you can be excused. I know you said you was doing something about late payments, and I'm sorry, I
Oh, that's okay.
forgot.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Oh, thank you.
That leads us to finance, Mr. Anderson.
To add to the finance that hasn't already been presented, so
Very good.
that's my report.
All right. Mr. Hicks, Pleasant Township.
They had no new business. They still haven't decided on the color of the truck. But I also got a paper sent to me about Family Dollar, about, they're kind of coming under fire about not having,
Okay. You said Family Dollar.
yeah, or, sorry,
Dollar General.
Dollar General, I'm
I
sorry.
wanted to ask you about that. Go ahead.
Dollar General.
Go ahead.
And they've come under fire because they're kind of squeezing family mom and pop stores out of business in small villages.
Yeah.
And grocery stores, that is, and it's coming back on them that they're kind of put the heat on them. They've come up with putting canned goods, more produce, fruits and vegetables in some of the newer stores they're building. I did ask them at the township if they had heard anything about they were going to add to the size of it, because I figured they'd have to if they were going to add it. They said they didn't. They have no knowledge of anything about that. They don't.
So in the letter, did they say they're going to add those things?
In the letter, it said they were, the newer stores, they were going to, because they were bringing under pressure of them. So whether they do out here or not, I don't know.
Okay.
Hopefully they will.
Okay. Has there been anything about water and sewage? Because
Nothing.
I have not seen a well been drilled.
Nobody knows anything over there. It's
Well, we
like
haven't heard anything from them.
they don't talk about it over there either.
I
Basically, the county is taking
was
care
gonna
of
say, they
it.
deferred to the county. Couldn't the engineer at the county tell them something?
I don't know. I
That'd
talked
be
to him
Dune?
today.
Yeah.
Well, the reason I question is the neighbor wanted to know if they was drilling their own well. He's wanting to know if we're running water out there. And I said, not to my knowledge. He said, well, I need to know. If there is, I'm tapping in. And I haven't heard, they said, well, there's no well drilling outfit. You would think they would have drilled a well first. So I said, I don't know. I have no idea. No one's got with us. Everything's being handled through the trustees is why I ask you.
They still have to advise us if they tap into our sewer, into the sewer system, right?
Yes.
Pardon?
So if they are going to be using, obviously, they're going to have to dispose of that waste
Right,
anyways. They
right.
will have to tap into our sewer.
Yes, they will.
Yes.
So have they notified us about?
But would that be still, since it's still considered the county, would they just, doesn't the county do
Well,
the
we would have to
sewer?
deem that and say that's approved. We
Okay.
have to do so.
Yeah, because they go through us, to us. Okay, I was just curious if you had heard something, because people out that direction are asking me, are we getting water? No, no,
Most,
not unless you pay for it.
basically, they tell me that's going through the county.
Okay.
Engineer.
Okay, very good, okay. That leads us to the squad, Mr.
Squad
Anderson.
will meet Wednesday evening at 8 PM.
Very good. That leads us to the FAR department.
Sure.
Marcy.
They had a meeting on July 30th, and I think they're in the final, I think they finally turned in the order for their truck, which they won't get for 395 days, which just floors me that it takes that long to get a truck, but I guess that's the way it goes.
What kind of truck?
The
Fire
tanker.
A regular fire
Yeah.
truck or a tanker?
I think it's a fire truck.
Okay,
Yeah. They're also looking right now to try to find some sort of gator. I guess they had an issue last year, maybe, when the weather was bad out at Deer Creek. They went on a run and somebody had been thrown off of a horse or something down a trail and.
yeah, I
So
remember
they're,
that.
they're looking to try to find some sort of a gator that they can, maybe attach a snowplow to, for one, to clear off their
Mm-hmm.
property and then to use to get out to remote places. So that's about all they talked about, and their next meeting's the 29th of August.
Very good. Water, wastewater. Becky
me.
Martin.
Well, we tried to have a meeting about a week ago, and unfortunately, two of our council members were not able to attend. So we're going to reschedule, we're just going to go ahead and have our next one. I believe it's, let me see here, it's the last Tuesday of the month. Those always are really busy. I don't have my date here. Do you have the?
Yeah, I'm trying to.
August,
27th?
August 27th, and I would like to, I know on the calendar right now, it says like 2:15 or 2:30. I want to change that to a 3 o'clock meeting because we have our nuisance meeting at 2 o'clock. So
What date?
Tuesday, August 27th at 3 o'clock, and we do have some important things to discuss, so, yeah.
Yeah, because I want this committee to become more involved with the issues that we were talking about earlier, about water meters and stuff. Because there's going to have to be some grants filed, you know, the whole,
Yeah, well,
Ryan and Misty will be involved in all that.
speaking of that, you know, I think it's a good idea for all of our committees, and the village as a whole to start maybe putting on paper like our 5-year plans. And if we can
We
start
have a
that.
5-year plan,
Well, like the committees do not.
right?
I've never seen our 5-year plan. I'd like to see it, but, you know, I know the committees haven't, and I would like to, I'm going to, within my own committees, like, start plans so we can bring them back to council, and, you know, maybe the public can even get involved, what they want, you know, some of the things they feel are priorities, and we can just put those to paper and then make one big plan, so.
Okay. Well, that would be up to each chairperson of each committee,
Yeah.
yes. So, okay. Okay, is that it?
That's it.
All right, that takes us to street.
The main thing about the streets, Mr. Mayor, and Brian pretty well explained, is our pothole situation. That's the main thing most citizens are talking about.
Yes.
And eventually, we're going to have to check into some street signs. I've been looking around. We got one for about no trucks, and you can't see. It's over on, I believe, it's over on New Street, and there's supposed to be no, it's rusted away. I had some people complain about that one. They want a new sign there. I said, we'll be up to what we do in the streets. And also, basically, though, they're all happy with what potholes we have done. One person told me now he didn't have to worry about losing his car in a crater, so
Yeah.
that's always a good sign.
I'm glad you brought up the street sign.
Yes, yes, sir.
She brought that up to me, and I talked to Brian today. And we've actually replaced a few signs that have faded. We're putting up more new signs that we've got. But I guess Brian and myself and probably a couple of the guys, we're going to go around and take an inventory of all the street signs.
Some are getting rusty.
They haven't been updated for
Yeah,
10 or
there's
15 years, and they're
I can think
terrible.
of a couple of stop signs are getting
Yeah.
kind of rusty. That's a good
And
idea, guys.
Because she's going to order them all at one time.
Okay.
You'll be seeing some new signs that probably in the next couple of days go up, but we need a lot more.
So with-
2-hour parking,
Yeah,
that
okay.
sort of thing. Yeah, the things that
You're
you
going
brought
to
up.
identify
Yeah,
those and,
Yeah,
yeah, because the sheriff said he can't enforce them because they're
Right.
not everywhere.
Right.
So,
so we'll have, we talked about the 2-hour parking, 15-minute parking or 10-minute parking. We talked about over 2 inches of snow. So we're going to sit down and Brian's going to make a list of everything and order everything at one time.
Would you like to call a street committee meeting at some time and maybe put that on the books? 'Cause I know there's-
Yes, probably,
concern with-
I will set up a date for us at the next council meeting. I want to make sure, so we can get ready for it, or when the mayor wants it. It's up to the mayor. When do you want to have, it, Mr. Mayor?
Brian, Streets Committee meeting, maybe next week?
Yeah, I mean, my schedule's,
Okay.
Next week would be fine with me.
Can we do something next week?
Yeah.
Okay, that'll give us time to
Yeah.
do a complete,
Set us up, Courtney, for
yeah,
one day next
because
week.
somebody was asking for a handicap, I forget what all.
Yeah. That's what I asked.
A lot of things have been thrown out, for instance, no right turn on red, these sort of things, so we're gonna,
Okay.
Brian and I and,
white
Okay.
truck sign.
yeah, we're putting them up, yeah,
Yeah,
this
there's certain
week.
things.
So, yeah, they've been neglected for years, and we're gonna try to catch up on some of them.
Okay.
Very good. Mike's not here. Who else is on Parks and Rec?
Marcy and Craig.
Marcy. Parks and Rec. Anybody?
I have some dates too.
We do have the movie coming up on the 24th, and I guess
August
that's the last
24th.
movie of the season, and that's The Little Mermaid, I believe.
Yep.
And I think we were working on trying to get something from Deer Creek. Somebody to come out and maybe talk about, I just don't remember what it was.
Yeah, he called out there to Deer Creek Rangers and still waiting to hear back, but they were hoping, normally they go around at fairs and they do those little water safety 5 or 10 minute classes, and then they give away little rubber duckies and stuff, so we were hoping they might come and do that, but he said if they do not, he'll look something up and do it himself. But with that said, I'd like to also let everybody know about, Courtney touched on it real briefly, Saturday, the 17th is coming Saturday, Special Olympics. We are hosting Special Olympics at Mason Park for a softball tournament. There'll be an adult teams will be playing, and I believe there's 3 adult games, and then I believe there's 3 coach pitch age games. And Mount Sterling Youth League will be running the concession. And as Courtney mentioned, ABC restrooms, Porta Johns have donated restrooms for that event. And the Correctional Reception Center is providing 2 umpires for the event. They're allowing 2 officers to come and umpire for the event for community service. And then,
Question.
yes,
You say adult adult softball?
Yes.
And where are these teams coming from, I guess, or?
They are all, I just looked at that. They're all local counties. There's 3 local counties, Madison, I think Pickaway, and maybe Fayette.
Yeah.
I don't have it in front of me, but I know the American Legion, the young lady that was at the movie, she has a lot to do with it because she had the
Oh,
little boy
Katrina?
there, Wes's wife.
Oh, yeah.
She's providing the lunches or something out there too, so she's highly involved in it.
So the adult teams are already lined up to
Yes,
play.
there are 3 teams. There's 2 games before the lunch break and 1 after, and the same way with the youth. So it's an opportunity for, the community to come out and watch some softball and eat some concessions and support, a good cause. I know they're still trying to secure certified umpires for the adult games. The 2 corrections officers that are coming for the kids' games are athletes, but they're not, the paid umpires. So we're still trying to find 2 umpires for the adult games to work those 3 games. So if anyone out there is an official umpire and wants to volunteer some time, that would be awesome. And then, as Marcy mentioned, the 24th is The Little Mermaid, and this is the final movie, and I was hoping she'd be able to make it, and she's very humble, and but I still feel like I need to say her name out loud. Dee Stevens of Key Realty donated $1,000 to the Park and Recs for the movie series. So we're going to apply that towards next year's movie series. That big popcorn machine that's in your space, sorry about that, that belongs to the Youth League. We've borrowed that the last 2 movies, and we'll use it again this week. But, that's one of the things that's on our want list. And then we out of the generous donations, again, from the American Legion and the Mount Sterling Chamber of Commerce, we got all the equipment, the speakers and the projector and all that provided, but now we're still trying to get donations for the screen.
Yeah.
And so we have been borrowing West Jeff's screen, so we wanted to thank them again. And he asked me to thank Honey Run Farms, who provided honey sticks last week, or last month. Sterling Crossing, Mad Hatter, and Bricker Farms, who have provided all the concessions we've been selling. And last month, we more than doubled the first movie, so we're hoping to double it again. If we do, it'll be standing room only.
Yeah, we had a nice crowd.
Yeah,
It was nice.
nearly
Very
60
nice. Weather
people.
was nice.
So, yeah, so,
It was nice.
now, this is the original Little Mermaid. If any of you, it's the Disney animated, because I know there's been a remake. So it came out about 20 years ago, so there's probably a lot of young kids who have never seen it.
Yeah.
So, let's see here. It seems like there was one more thing. Some of the goals they wanted me to mention, or he wanted me to mention, is they want to run water to that Youth League concession stand. They're going to try to get a light on the flagpole really soon. And again, I mentioned the popcorn machine. And then they do have some big goals down the road. I don't know if I should spill the beans or just not at this point.
Maybe you better wait.
Okay.
So-
So yeah, some big plans, but if anyone out there wants to get involved and has great ideas, please feel free to come to the meetings. And those are always the last Tuesday, is that right? At 4 o'clock, right? Last Tuesday,
27th is the next meeting.
27th.
Is that it? Or are you finished, I should say?
Oh, I'm finished, sorry.
You're studying?
Finished with that.
What? Is that it?
Yeah,
Okay, thank you.
sorry.
Record of retention, Mr. Anderson.
Nothing to report today.
Nothing to report. Okay, back to you, Becky Martin.
Holy.
Nuisance and abatement.
Okay, so we had a meeting a little over a week ago. Our next meeting will be Tuesday, the 20th at 2 o'clock. I believe we have some legislation tonight that's going to help us enforce, yes?
Do we?
Yes.
Okay.
That's going to help us enforce our nuisance that is on the books. And we're getting some new paperwork, a whole new system. And thank you to our new village administrator for coming to our last meeting and helping us with some ideas. Something else I want to mention, we have a new program that we're getting ready to implement. It's a Beautiful Yards program. So, you know, we're out there dinging the yards that need a little help, but we're also going to start recognizing 3 yards bi-monthly that are beautiful. And then next year, we hope to extend it, maybe have some contest mixed in and stuff. But this year, we have, we're buying nice little signs to just pop in the yard, just for some recognition of our appreciation on how nice some of these yards around town really do look.
Very good.
And thank you to Mr. Pitstick as well, to his assistant who's, you know, offering good suggestions that we kind of want to mirror because it works so well out there in Fayette County. So I appreciate Cheryl coming down here and yourself offering suggestions, and, you know, you guys have a really good program down there that we hope to kind of adopt here because we have some of the, you know, forms and things like that. It seems very structured and it's really going to work well here, I think.
Okay. Block watch.
On the block watch, last time we brought this up, and I brought it up to the block watch, we talked about solicitors. It's not coming through without getting a permit.
Yes.
And Jack's been working on this, and so far they haven't got a permit. Jack's been checking that out, so that's been a good thing. And also, watch your surroundings now. We're living in times now where you think you're going to be safe, but we're living, you always got to be careful where you're at. Be careful where you're at, especially around ATM machines, or if you're getting gas, make sure you do not leave your car running, because that's an open invitation for somebody to jump in there and take a free ride. And basically, the block watch is still doing what we call it, going from neighborhood to neighborhood, which has been a good thing. It keeps the public informed what we're doing and keeping everything, and that's all I got to report, Mr. Mayor.
Thank you very much. That leads us to ordinances and resolutions. You'll see before you, Resolution 2019-14. This is a resolution authorizing me, William Martin, as mayor, to go into contract for the position of village law director. Scratch, declare as an emergency. I need a motion to put this on the first reading.
Yeah, that motion.
Thank you. A second. Thank you very much. Vote.
Okay, sorry. Okay, David?
Yes.
Marcy?
Yes.
Becky?
Yes.
Lowell?
Yes,
Craig?
Yes.
Pass on the first reading.
Thank you. That leads us to ordinance 2019-15. This is an ordinance spoken about earlier, controlling and removing noxious weeds and grasses. They want this declared as an emergency. So, ordinance 2019-15, I need a motion to suspend the rules.
I'll give you the motion.
I'll second.
Thank you. Vote.
David?
Yes.
Marcy?
Yes.
Becky?
Yes.
Lowell?
Yes,
Craig?
Yes.
Now, I need a motion to place it on the first, second, and third readings tonight.
You have that motion.
Okay, who's first?
Thank you and thank you.
Okay.
A vote.
David?
Yes.
Marcy?
Yes.
Becky?
Yes.
Lowell?
yes.
Craig?
Yes.
Discussion now, or the next one.
First, second, third?
Yeah,
Yes. No.
No discussion.
no discussion. Now, with that said, I need a motion for passage of ordinance 219-15.
I'll give you the motion.
Thank you very much.
I'll second.
Thank you. Vote.
David?
Yes.
Marcy?
Yes.
Becky?
Yes.
Lowell?
Yes,
Craig?
Yes.
Ordinance has been passed.
Thank you very much. That brings us to ordinance 2019-16. This is an ordinance amending 2019-7 to increase appropriations to allow for the repair and maintenance of machinery and equipment, and we need this to pass on a emergency measure.
I'll give you the motion.
Thank you.
A second.
Thank you. Vote.
David?
Yes.
Marcy?
Yes.
Becky?
Yes.
Lowell?
yes,
Craig?
Yes.
Thank you. Now, a motion to place this ordinance 219-16 on first, second, and third readings.
yes,
Thank you.
Second.
Thank you. Vote.
David?
Yes.
Marcy?
Yes.
Becky?
Yes.
Lowell?
yes,
Craig?
Yes.
Now, I need a motion for passage of 219-16.
I'll give you the motion.
Thank you. Second.
Second.
Thank you. Vote.
David?
Yes.
Marcy?
Yes.
Becky?
Yes.
Lowell?
Yes,
Craig?
Yes.
Ordinance has been passed.
Thank you very much for that. There's, like a lot of things around town, for the past several years, things have been neglected, and we're trying to play catch-up, I guess you'd call it, with our equipment, with our streets, with a lot of stuff. So Brian has got a real job ahead of him. He's fortunate to have good help now, and I'm fortunate to have good help. I just can't tell you how amazing everyone has been for the past year. That leads us to roundtable.
I'd like to bring up Mr. Mayor on our monument here in town for the veterans and also the Timmons Way. I got a letter from the World War II magazine, and they're thinking interested about doing an article about that in the fall.
Okay,
And so that'll be so great for the town itself, and so I will be, as soon as I'm more informed, I'll tell more about as soon as I find out
very good.
and everything.
I'm glad you brought that up. A lady came in today. She wants a brick for her husband. I guess we should, for convenience, the Ladies Auxiliary at the American Legion here in town is taking care of that now. What they do
what is it
is,
she wants?
pardon?
What is it she
A
wants?
brick for
Oh,
her
okay.
husband. And what they're doing is they have to wait until I don't know how many bricks they have to get, a half a dozen maybe, before they put an order in. So maybe we'll put that on our webpage, that information. I know I'm going to get a hold of the lady that's in charge of that and give her this particular lady's phone number so she can put her order in. And then I think I believe they said they was going to wait until they got 6, so we could do 6 of them at a time.
One thing I'm hoping we can have down the road one day is have the American flag on one side and the MIA flag.
Yeah,
Maybe one day
that'd be
we can
great.
have that.
Yes, sir.
Speaking of scams, I got a call the other day telling me my Microsoft was under attack by 3 different countries, and I needed to change my IP, and they were going to tell me what to do.
Oh,
So people maybe need to be careful, because I do have antivirus on mine. I don't think it's corrupted.
yeah. I get those on my phone occasionally.
But they're asking you to change your IP. That gets you
Yeah,
in
don't do
trouble.
that. That's a no-no. Anyone else?
Yeah, I have a few things.
All right.
I always have a few things. I love reading this paper and finding some really cool things. Last week, there was an article in there, Meals on Wheels gave out some Spirit Awards and different things. And the Outstanding Volunteer Spirit Awards, Mount Sterling Route 507 volunteers, I'm just going to read their names: Peter Rasmussen, Pat Arbogast, Wilson Lehman, Chris and Nikki Baker, Julia Orrs, Carolyn Forrest, and Stephen Craig, all combined a total of 80 years of service combined, and then 522 hours in 2018. So congratulations to those Mount Sterling people that are out volunteering. And with that said, Madison County Chamber of Commerce is hosting a new volunteer fair on August the 17th. There's a nice article in this week's paper about it, and what it is it'll be like a job fair, it says, where you come in and talk to everybody and see if volunteer opportunities match up with your time and energy and talents. So it is set for August the 17th from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. at the Chamber of Commerce, 730 Kenny Boulevard in London, and anyone is welcome to come become a volunteer. So I thought that was very nice. And then one other thing in the paper I found interesting is that WIC in Madison County is providing $20 certificate to buy fresh fruits and vegetables at local farmers markets. So if any of you out there are on the WIC program, you're eligible to get a $20 in the county to get a $20 coupon and go get you some fresh veggies. So I thought that was some real nice things that are going on. And real quick, I did want to thank, I know some of them were thanked last council meeting, but there was some more activity over at our Memorial Square. I know a local couple came and donated more than 25 bags of mulch, and they were out spreading it, as well as Misty was out there helping spread that mulch and try to take care of those plants that a lot of local people came and brought out of their own gardens. And that is still an opportunity. There's still lots of empty space out there, so if anyone else wants to bring perennials and plant them out there, that would be wonderful. And then every year we can just make that those gardens more beautiful. And then Saturday the 17th, we already mentioned, is Special Olympics at the park, softball. Thursday the 22nd, I wanted to mention Madison Plains football team and cheerleaders is coming to the Mad Hatter from 7 to 8. And John Darlington, his radio station, what is it, John?
Ready FM.
Ready FM will be broadcasting from 7 to 8 p.m., talking about Madison Plains and their upcoming season. We're asking everyone and anyone to please come out and support the team. You know, Madison Plains really does need the support. And I would love it if we all got behind them. There will be refreshments provided, and I'm going to decorate, and I want to try to make, all these young people feel really special. So if anyone can come and add to that, that would be amazing. And then Courtney mentioned the cancer run the next day. And then the following day, Saturday, is Little Mermaid. And then I believe Friday the 30th, John, correct me if I'm wrong, is the first Madison Plains football game.
Starts on Friday the 30th.
Friday the 30th, and I believe we're home against Southeastern. Westfall, that's right, Westfall, but we're home, right? So
I think I took a screenshot of it. Hold on.
that's another good local rival, so it would be awesome if everyone came to that game. Are you broadcasting that game?
No, we have we're doing all 4 teams 3 times, and I will bring schedules. We have schedules on our website, readyfm.com. We're doing 3 Madison Plains teams. We're doing the West Jefferson, Westfall, and I think Southeastern.
Okay.
So we're looking forward to bringing that so people can understand that, there is a Madison County radio station that people could, if you can't go to the games, you can listen to it.
That's great. That's awesome. And then one last thing, I wanted to, another event, Saturday the 30th. It's called Sunflowers in Bloom Shop Hop. Any local downtown shops that want to participate were invited. One shop I do want to give a special shout out to is Lostro's. The Pumpkin Farm, we're usually used to them opening for Halloween and fall season. They are opening early this year. They will be open Saturday the 31st, and the reason this event is called Sunflowers, they've planted sunflowers this year, and they have photo opportunities out there to go out and, take pictures in the fields of sunflowers, so that's super exciting, and you can probably see pumpkins growing while you're out there. They'll have a lot of their stuff they have in the fall is like the little things the kids climb on and stuff like that. They'll have their I believe, a food truck and their gift shop open. So it's exciting that they're expanding their seasons a little. I know Michelle was hoping to expand the season, and we're hoping they expand it into Christmas a little too. So I just want to congratulate them on that, and ask everyone to come out and support your local businesses. That's all I have.
We got one more thing.
Oh, sorry, what did I forget?
Good.
Mr. Darlington, what's the dial? Where are they at on the dial? The number?
What's that?
The dial? Where are they at on the dial? I can't think what.
Oh, okay, so
On the radio.
that's an interesting thing. The radio station is WCYCLP 105.1, but it's only within the London area. So what we've done is expanded it through the internet, so you can pick it up anywhere in the world through the internet. So it's West Jeff, Plain City, and Madison Plains has to go through the internet. So I've got cards. It's ReadyFM.com, and it streams just right off of that. And
Chamber meeting.
it's a little tricky sometimes because people think, well, what's a radio dial number? It's 105.1, but it's only in the London area.
FM.
Yeah,
Right,
it is
yeah,
FM,
yeah,
and-
yeah.
But you can get it anywhere on your cell phone or anything.
Yeah.
So that's what you gotta, if you have grandparents that are not too internet savvy, you just need to take the time, one time, I think, to show them, because it's really very easy. Once you pull it up once, there's just a click button to listen live, and that's all you have to do, and they can hear their grandkids' names being called out, and they just do a wonderful job at highlighting all the students that are student athletes out there, and I think that really gives grandparents and people that are out of state a wonderful opportunity to hear about their hometown kids. It's awesome.
I don't think most of us have grandparents. We are grandparents.
It is true because
We are,
I-
Marcy.
when I have to go take my kid there, we go to the Friday night football game.
She's an
And
exception.
it's too cold, and there's a lot of grandparents that leave in the middle of it
Yeah.
because of the weather changing.
Yeah.
I gotta say this for JD too. He also hosts this show on Wednesday nights on Rock and Roll. I know he's put up with John and I don't know how many times, but it's an excellent show to listen to. It's really good.
The one thing about I'll shut up here in a second, but with the Meet the Teams, we've had 2 already. So we did West Jeff and London, and they went excellent. It was really good. Standing room only flyers. It was, we did the community night in London, and I'm so proud of our Madison County kids. They're doing such a great job. So we want to do the positive things where kids do good stuff.
That's great. That's great, John. That's great.
Yeah.
That's great. I have something else to add. She commented that there was a volunteer here in town, Julia, who goes over and I walked outside Friday, I couldn't find my utility clerk. And I look across the street and they got 3 people over there. I got Julia, I got my utility clerk, and I got the owner of the Mad Hatter on their hands and knees, taking care of our park. They didn't realize how proud I was to look out and see those 3 women on their hands and knees. Pride is contagious. And I hope everybody that went through town seen them over there, spreading that mulch. I immediately went to the telephone. I started manning the telephone. I thought, well, I've lost a utility clerk for at least an hour. So at least I can do is man the phone, and I did. But that was, we need a lot more of that.
You know,
We really
Mayor,
do.
I bet there was some veterans smile from heaven watching them do
Yes,
that,
there
clean that
was.
all up, and they're getting
I was
that
so
ready.
proud of those ladies. And it was hot. It was hot and miserable. So I'd like to thank all 3 of them. It didn't go unnoticed.
I have
Anyone
one
else on
last
the
thing, if I
roundtable?
could, I'm sorry. Lowell just reminded me of one last thing. I had it written, but I forgot to say it. This coming Thursday, the 15th at 4 o'clock at the community center is a Chamber of Commerce meeting. And we are strictly planning Christmas in the Village. So if anyone would like to be a part of planning Christmas in the Village, has ideas, please come out at 4 o'clock.
Participating in any way.
Anyway, we would love
Vendor,
to have people in in the parade. We would love to have more vendors. We would love to have just any fresh ideas we can get. So come out, did I say Thursday? Thursday, the 15th, okay.
At 4
4
o'clock,
o'clock.
wasn't it? Yes. I got that. You got
One
that
more
on
thing,
the
Mr.
calendar,
Mayor, before we
right?
close. I want to thank Reverend Blankenship again for 40 years of service to your community and your church. Congratulations again.
Very good. Anything else? We're adjourned. Thank you all very much. It is
13.
8:13.
David, I want to see you.
That's just amazing. It's so beautiful.
Remember what I said? We interviewed Drake.